Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz. It is March 21, 2020, 1:23 a.m. in Birmingham, and the topic is again the after effects or the current effects of the coronavirus. What's it doing to our nation? If you go back and look, and this wasn't a virus, this is just a dumb president in Obama's term when he bailed out General Motors. I don't recall the amount of money. I do know 800 billion went to banks, and I believe to auto manufacturers approximately the same thing. And this is the housing bubble burst. And what caused all that? Well, we didn't have anything going on. There wasn't a virus. There wasn't two wars on three fronts, and that just happened. Well, they're all back today, talking about the theaters. No more movies. All these employees, they want the government to pay them so they can pay their employees. And I'm hearing this everywhere. Restaurants, of course. New car sales have dropped like a rock. They're just not buying them. And so everybody's looking now for the government handout and bailout. There are some businesses, companies, for example, the U.S. Postal Service, the post office, they've been being bailed out every year for the last 15. I say close it. You got too many FedEx trucks running around out here that delivers your packages, and other companies, as you know. So what's going to happen? Well, things will continue to get worse, but that's not where I'm headed. I'm headed somewhere that I hadn't even mentioned. What if this continued for another month and then another $1 trillion goes up in smoke? That would mean 4 trillion in 40 days. And I'm counting the 3 trillion that's already gone, counting the bailout. What would happen if Israel was attacked and this virus crap continued another 2 months, and then maybe even another 2 trillion added? We would have only what we have in stock to go and assist Israel with. I'm going to play the devil's advocate. 2 different scenarios, and you tell what you think. One, when the United States told China, so look, this trade balance is really looking like this. There's China and there's the United States. But actually, if you want to do it right, it's something like this. 800 billion to 200 billion. Trump said, well, you know what? We're going to make it fair trade. If you want to get 800, then we need to get 800. And that's not going to happen. So we're going to drop you to 200 and you'll meet our 200. Well, we buy a lot, if not most, of our meds from China. And a lot of the things that we use that we need that we don't make here, we buy from China. If you go back a number of years, we made everything that we used here, even the meds. We supplied basically the world with meds. And presidents just continue to hand them out, give them to other countries to make for us. And that's what happened. So we're in a pickle. And what if the virus was purposely planned? And by playing the devil's advocate, I'm saying that I believe more so than I don't that it was a planned release event. And the reason I say this is Trump jumped on it quick enough to halt the increase, but yet internally we're on the upward curve just like Wuhan. South Korea, they just hummed straight and level, just a very slight increase. America, we were humming, all of a sudden we started at 33% increase. Excuse me, got the virus. So what would happen if Israel was attacked by these countries? If we go another few months and if we hemorrhage money for a few months in the same manner that we are today, I don't believe we would be there to back them up. Very open and honest about that. Tying that in with every country on this planet has coronavirus in it. No one knows yet how bad it's going to get, although there are things out there that will prevent you from getting worse and that will even take it out of your body, like quinine. But we could be so damaged that we wouldn't have the fuel to move ships and airplanes and missiles and all these things across over to Israel as quick as we'd want to get there. Keep in mind, a battle of that nature is going to last only, well, they think, and I say they, I'm talking about Gog of Magog, and that's Turkey and Russia, and then Iran and Iraq and Somalia and these other countries that's going to attack Israel. They think it'll be a 2 or 3 or 4 day war, and if they all attack with what they have, that's about right. But they don't think God is going to step in and fight that battle for Israel, which is what he's going to do. And that battle will be a battle that'll last less than an hour. God's not going to spend his time out here fighting a bunch of yahoos and foos. He's going to go in and just be done with it immediately, quickly. And when the sun goes down, everything's quiet. When the sun comes up, everything will be quiet. But there'll be millions of dead bodies circling Israel. Millions of dead bodies. Hundreds of millions of tons of equipment, jets, army tanks, guns of all kinds, ships just off the Mediterranean there. No telling what they have, but all of it will be left behind because God will have destroyed those armies in a single minute. That quick. He'll cause confusion. They will turn on each other, and every one of them will kill each other. Not one will kill a Jew. So, if we're not going to be there, then why should we need to be here? We are going to enter the final 7 years of our time, and I mean tribulation time, the final 7 years, no ifs, ands, and buts. And I may be wrong on the dates, on the years. I may be off, And if Jesus is born or died at 33 AD, then the millennial, the final 7,000 years won't begin until 2033. The Bible doesn't say that. The Bible simply said, and Jesus died year 33. So year one started 33 years prior. So he died 33, basically AD. But and again, this is my thought alone. It's not anything but my opinion. If we go by the number of years of a generation, which we know now has been extended to 80, the final 10 years of the 80-year generation started in May 14, 2018. The third year of that final 10 years of that generation will conclude on May 14, 2021. Then the final 7 years begins. And it started when Israel became a nation again in May 14, 1948. So all this coronavirus, it may lay like a blanket, and we may get it under control so it's not hitting as much or as fast or as hard. And we now have meds in stock to take care of it that they just didn't know. What I'm thinking is maybe we are in that mass confusion that the Bible talks about, that if and when, and both of those will become a reality, if and when the church is removed, there will be utter chaos far beyond what it is today. It'd be like 100 coronaviruses released at one time. And then there will be a man step forward and calm the world with his words of wisdom. That man will be the Antichrist. That man will tell Israel, I'll promise you 7 years of peace, and I will stand right here with you to make sure that it happens. You can tear down your walls. You don't need them anymore. You can build your temple and worship your God. You can continue your sacrifices daily. This will appease Israel. They'll accept him. It'll appease the world because he will have brought peace to them. But wow, that'll be so short-lived, because the Bible says in Matthew 24:24, even the very elect would be deceived if it were possible. The Bible wouldn't say that if that's not going to be a reality. And the Bible says, if I don't return, in other words, I must return to shorten those days, because if not, no life would remain alive. So he has to come to stop it. This world's gone to hell in a handbasket. Despite all Trump is doing, this just may be part of God's plan. I do believe that Trump will be reelected, hands down. If he's not, and I believe he will, so I don't have another guess as an alternative. I won't even try. It's highly likely the church will go home at that time or just prior to that time. And the church may not go home for another 100 years. But I believe it's going to be real soon. And if you knew the date, I believe many would panic thinking, did I really receive Christ? Did I need to make sure? Because he's going to come tonight, it'll terrify them. But yet, today, they could care less. Today, they're not walking with Christ. They're just not there. And anyway, we have something going on, and hope and pray that it will ease up and go away. And I still believe that'll happen soon. I really do believe that, because I don't believe it is time for anything like this virus. Now, the Bible does mention chaos. We're in chaos right now. Worldwide, we're in chaos. And Bible mentions that, but the fact that there is a virus that's causing that chaos leads me to think that this is not the virus that's going to kill a lot of people. That virus will come later, come in with a vial of the seals. Not now. We're not ready for it. Biblical's not ready for it. So guys, you be ready, whatever does happen, whatever occurs. And just hang in there. It's going to be fine. I mean, I promise you, if I get the virus, bye. And, I'll be in paradise. Anyway, just some little words of wisdom. Those of you who are saved, you don't need to worry about this. Don't worry about it. Look, I don't worry about it at all. I really don't. I don't think about it, except every time I turn on the TV, and I do that about once or twice a day, 40 times maybe. But you can't help but see it. It's everywhere. Anyway, just be ready. I think we're in those days. I think the 7 final years is upon us, that it'll be here within 14 and a half months. Close. Get ready, just in case, so we can get out of Dodge. But be calm. If you're saved, you don't have anything to worry about, really. Just hang in there. God is control, and whatever happens is God's will, and it plays well into His hands, and it will serve a purpose for His kingdom, because God is in control all of the time. Not just some of the time, but every second of all of our lives is in God's hands, and He is in charge all the time. And Jesus, He died for us so that we could be in God's hands. Jody Wolf Expoz.